Hello and welcome to the Darlington Raceway for race number 6 of this nr2003-2007, but we follow the 2026 NASCAR Cup Series schedule. Jeff Gordon has put it up on the pole position for today's race, but before we do get into the starting lineup itself, let's take a look at the points heading into this race, so you can see where your favorite driver stacks up. As mentioned at the top of the show, Jeff Gordon is on the pole position, and Jimmie Johnson will line up next to him on row number 1. Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin make up row number 2 with Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. in row number 3. Jeff Burton, your points leader, lines up next to Mark Martin in row number 4 with Carl Edwards and Kevin Harvick in row number 5. Clint Bowyer and Matt Kenseth make up row number 6 with Ryan Newman and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in row number 7. Greg Biffle and Kurt Busch in row number 8 with Jeff Green and Sterling Marlin in row number 9. Bobby O'Bonney and Jamie McMurray make up row number 10 with Casey Kane and J.J. Yeley in row number 11. Casey Mears and David Reagan make up row number 12 with Johnny Sauter and Robbie Gordon in row 13. Juan Pablo Montoya and Tony Raines in row 14 with David Ruderman and David Gillen in row 15. Row 16 consists of Kenny Wallace and Michael Waltrip with Scott Riggs and Kyle Petty in row number 17. Reed Sorensen and Ken Schrader in row number 18 with Elliott Sadler and Dave Blaney in row number 18. Paul Menard and David Stremme in row number 20 with Dale Jarrett and Joe Nemechek in row 21. And Brian Vickers will start shotgun on the field. 3 stages today, 37, 90, 147. Tire wear is going to be a factor again, like it was in Las Vegas, but without further ado, let's go trackside to get the command to fire up engines. Here from the Darlington Raceway.
Drivers, start the engine!
The engines are fired up from Darlington as the field gets ready to roll off pit road here. You will see cars getting in the wall more than likely. You will see drivers pushing it hard and making mistakes. But who can be the one to contain the lady in black? But now, the field rolls off pit road. Everyone makes it off good as Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson lead the field up onto the banking. So keys to the race: keep out of trouble, manage your tires, make sure you pit at the right time, as Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson slowly lead the field around to begin this race at Darlington, the first of 2 visits we have here this season. So what can you learn from these races here, this race here at Darlington? Gordon and Johnson side by side as they come around to the start-finish line, and they will take the green flag here from Darlington. Green flag is in the air. We are racing from Darlington. Gordon gets the jump. As they head for turn number 1, Gordon clear of Johnson. Johnson can't even think about getting side by side with Gordon because he has Tony Stewart making a move now. As you see the field fly and roar to life. Gordon and Johnson 1-2. Hamlin next to his teammate Stewart for third. Hamlin going to be able to use that higher lane to maybe clear Tony Stewart by the time they get to the start-finish line. Yes, he will. Hamlin clears himself into third. And you're going to see guys starting to get the wall here as we look further back. And there you see the first one to get into the wall, that's Sterling Marlin in the 14 car. And you can see how much that holds up the whole group behind him. As the field continues to frame for again, it's still Gordon over Johnson, Hamlin, Stewart, and Busch. But you do not want to overdrive here. Stewart up the racetrack. You see Boyer getting the wall. You see how much it costs you to hit the wall here. And you will see the field very spread out today just because of how many people hit the wall. How many people have to check out for people hitting the wall. And now you see Marlon in the wall again in 3 and 4. So everyone getting a good chunk of people getting their Darlington stripes in early. As Johnson still trails Gordon for the race lead. As they race off turn number 2. Where can Jimmy Johnson make a move? It is pretty much a single groove racetrack. You are able to search around, but it is hard to pass around here. So that's why you saw so many people making moves off the start. But Johnson's going to look low for the race lead on teammate Gordon. Gordon runs a little bit high, but Johnson easily able to clear Gordon through 1 and 2. And we're going to be watching the tires as this run goes on. We don't expect much fall off early in a run, but once we get later into a run, 20 laps in, that's when you'll see people start to fall off. That's when you'll see the tire wear levels that we saw at Las Vegas, maybe more than we saw at Las Vegas. But can we make it 10 laps into this one without a caution? We're doing good so far. As you see Kevin Harvick in the wall further back. He's going to lose several places. Now Gordon immediately trying to make a move on Johnson for the race lead. Johnson was able to get the better run through 3 and 4 though. But here's Gordon to the inside through 1 and 2. Johnson may be able to use the top side to his advantage. Johnson got spun out from the lead by Tony Stewart last time out at Las Vegas. He's had a rough go at it these past few weeks, but he's trying to turn it around here this week at Darlington. But Gordon right to his inside on his left rear quarter panel. Can he get the move done in the 1 this time? No, he's going to have to settle back in the line. As these top 3 starting the gap, Kyle Busch in the 4th spot. Gordon now side by side of Johnson again, as now Martin Truex Jr. has moved up into 4th. Gordon slots in the line again, but it probably won't be for long. We'll get Ham on up the racetrack trying to make a run happen. And you see these guys getting jumbled up further back. Tony Stewart has gotten around Kyle Busch now. As you see Ken Schrader in the pits with an issue. Casey Kane also seems to have had an issue. As Edwards now trying to get by Kyle Busch in 5. Meanwhile, with this top 4 breakaway, it's Johnson still being hounded by teammate Jeff Gordon. The lap times have fallen off 3/10 of a second so far. And we've made it to lap 10 without someone crashing. Gordon's sizing Johnson up. He thinks about a move down the back straightaway. Can't quite make it happen. As they head through 3 and 4 again. Gordon still looking low. Hamlin searching high, trying to make a run happen. He's trying to build up a run towards Jeff Gordon in 2nd. As you see another car right there down pit road. I think that may have been Johnny Sauter in the 70 car. That was Sauter in the 70 car. You see Greg Biffle getting the wall. You see Bobby Labonte up here in the wall. So maybe people getting possibly a flat tire, or maybe just a mechanical issue from hitting the wall so much. As Jeff Gordon once again makes a move on Jimmy Johnson for the race lead. He may have a better shot at it down in the 1 this time, now that he's more side by side of his teammate. Johnson's not going to relinquish it easy, but Johnson's going to get the wall. That's going to allow Hamlin to get by. That's going to allow Truex Jr. maybe to get by. As you see Kyle Busch also get the wall further back. Also Greg Biffle on the wall again. He makes contact with Boyer. Burton way up the racetrack trying to surge to get by Matt Kenseth in the 17 car. And now Hamlin moves into 2nd ahead of Johnson. But Johnson immediately trying to work past Denny Hamlin again. And Gordon may be coming up on some lap traffic soon, so that could cost him the lead potentially. Lap 37 is when this first stage comes to a close, but will we see green flag pit stops before then? With how much tires matter. because lap times have fallen off an entire second from the start so far. So whoever gets fresh tires first is going to feel like Superman out here. They're about to lap the 44 of Dale Jarrett here for the first time today. Hamlin's searching a little high here for 3 and 4. Truex seems to have gotten the wall as he has lost touch with this top 3. They all easily get by Dale Jarrett without issue to put him a lap down. So he is the first car one up down. Michael Waltrip up here on the wall. They're going to probably easily get by him as well. Johnson still searching behind Hamlin for the second spot, but Hamlin's still hanging on to it currently. None of the top 3 have won a race yet this season. None of the top 4 may, actually, as Carl Edwards is the highest car in the field that has won a race so far this season. As you see, Stremming the wall, Hamlin gets the wall as well. So Hamlin gets the wall. He's going to maybe be able to hold off Johnson here down the back straightaway. As you see, Stremming holding up second and third place, Denny Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson. That is great news for Jeff Gordon. The Stremming blocks high where Hamlin wanted to go. Here comes Johnson. Johnson gets by the 40 of Stremming, and as these tires wear, it just gets harder to pass people, even lap cars. When you see Jeff Gordon struggling to get by some of these lap guys. And now Jimmy Johnson is caught back up to Jeff Gordon in the 24. Gordon up the racetrack, trying to get around Paul Menard. Will they be able to split him free wide? No, Menard goes up to block Gordon. But that opens the door for Jimmy Johnson, who will take the race lead back away. And lap times have fallen off 2 seconds now from the start. So these guys are keeping an eye on their tires for sure. Next up to be lapped will be Kyle Petty in the 45. As you see Hamlin going inside on Elliott Sadler to lap him as well. And Gordon also gets by the 19. Through 1 and 2 again though, it's still Johnson out front. Ahead of Hamlin and Gordon. Sadler in the wall, that's going to allow this group of guys to potentially very easily get by him. But Stewart and Newman are going to get held up. Petty moves out of the way for Johnson, and he's going to take it free wide on Dave Blaney and Joe Nemechek. Hamlin and Gordon know they have to go. Where do they go on Kyle Petty in the 1, or will they have trouble getting by these lap guys? Well, what's going to help them here is Dave Blaney and Kenny Wallace are both in the wall. So that's going to give them 2 spots. The 2 lap cars to pass right there. Now, where do they go here through 3 and 4? Hamlin wants the top on Petty. He's going to get the top on Kyle Petty as he goes around the 45 on the high side. And Johnson's just done such a good job of getting by these lap cars that he's got 3 of them between Hamlin and Gordon and himself. And he may have about to have 4 because here comes Petty next to Hamlin. And Hamlin's got to go. To the outside again on Joe Nemechek. Can't get there. But he's going to dive low. And this gap is probably about 3 seconds now. Just about 4 seconds. As Johnson is scooting away, Hamlin finally gets by Kyle Petty in the 45. Now Hamlin's able to get by Scott Riggs in the 10. He has to go to work on Robbie Gordon in the 7. And Johnson is caught behind Schrader and Sorensen. So Hamlin knows he needs to go, and that's exactly what he does. And Hamlin gained a chunk of time that lap, and we got a caution on the speedway actually. So our first caution of the night comes out on lap number 23. And it is for Paul Menard going for a slide. So this was in 33rd. Casey Kane Oh, Menard just blocks high into Casey Kane and ends up going around there in 3 and 4. And that is what brings out the first caution of the evening. Your free pass under this caution will be Reed Sorensen in the 41 car. So he will get back on the lead lap for this restart. Johnson's going to come down the pit road with a big lead over Hamlin. As you see Sorensen going around to get his lap back. But I'd expect the order to be about the same here off pit road unless Johnson has a slow pit stop. But we'll see if that indeed does happen. Jeff Gordon has actually fallen back to 8th spot because of his troubles in lap traffic. But here's Johnson to get his service. And it will be Jimmy Johnson who does... No, it won't. It will be Denny Hamlin who wins off pit road. So a slow stop for the 48 of Johnson. Hamlin, Newman, Truex, Edwards, Kenseth, Stewart, Gordon, Johnson, and then Earnhardt Jr. So a nightmare pit stop for Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car. And there's the rest of the field coming down pit road, the lapped down cars. So 25 cars on the lead lap as we just got the 1 to green signal here. You see Tony Raines dropping to the back, Reed Sorensen also passing these lap down cars. And we're actually going to delay the restart a lap because of these guys out here in the back. And I think they're all trying to get around the 14 car. It seems like we will be good to go here this time by, as Johnny Sauter is out of the race with a suspension issue. And they're actually slow on the front straightaway. So we unfortunately have to delay it another lap. But now we do get to go back racing here after that trouble with the lap cars. So here we go. Hamlin will lead them with less than 10 to go in stage 1. Green flag back in the air, Hamlin over Newman. As they head through turns 1 and 2, Hamlin had a Newman, Truex, Kenseth, and Stewart, but Newman trying to take a look on Hamlin. Trying to size up that 11 FedEx Chevrolet for Joe Gibbs Racing for a move for the lead. Hamlin starting to get Brian Newman. And he won't see much fall off during this run because of how short this run to the end of the stage is, but Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson making moves. Gordon already about to re-enter the top 5. As you see Mark Martin in the wall back there. Kenseth up the hill, trying to defend against Jeff Gordon, but Gordon may easily get by the 17 of Matt Kenseth as Martin Truex Jr. makes a move on Ryan Newman for the 2nd spot. Newman going defensive in the 1 and 2 though. He may lose a spot to Jeff Gordon as well, as Hamlin drives away with the lead. Truex may get a look at Hamlin here in the 3 and 4 as well, side by side for the race lead. Hamlin able to clear for now off turn number 4, as we are just about 5 laps from the stage end. Hamlin, Truex, Gordon, and Johnson, the same 4 that were leading us earlier, but in a different order. We've had a spin off turn 2. I think that may have been Brian Vickers in the 83. That may have gone around there off turn 2. NASCAR did not call the caution. It was Schrader and Brian Vickers who went around, running about last and second to last. So NASCAR decides to not call the caution. And now we are another lap closer to the stage end. 4 laps to go in stage number 1. You know, you have this race and you have Martinsville next week, and then you have the 1 week break for Easter. And then we race every week until July. And I think we get like 2 weeks off at the end of July. But meanwhile, Jeff Gordon, next to Martin Truex Jr., easily gets by the 1 car. Now he may get a shot to go after the 11 of Denny Hamlin for the stage win. Hamlin holding his line up top, ahead of Gordon. Truex running the high line as well, trying to get to the outside of the 24 car. He's going to give the 24 a shot down the front straightaway. 2 to go in stage 1. As we come around 3 and 4, it's going to be the white flag. As we come around 1 and 2, it's going to be the white flag for stage number 1 next time by when they get the line. Gordon still trying to get by Denny Hamlin in the 11. Newman with a huge run up high. Gordon and Hamlin side by side as they come to the white flag in stage number 1. Hamlin noses out Gordon across the stripe. White flag in stage number 1, and it's going to be Jeff Gordon who clears for the lead in the 1 and 2. So it's Gordon over Hamlin and Truex Jr. Schrader slow in front of them on the back straightaway. Hamlin might get a chance to make a move at Jeff Gordon, but it will not be enough as they come through 3 and 4. And Jeff Gordon is going to win stage number 1 here at Darlington. So Gordon, Hamlin, Truex, Johnson, Newman, Kenseth, Stewart, Burton, Kyle Busch, and Boyer, your top 10. And the free pass this time around will be Kyle Petty in the 45 car, getting back onto the lead lap. So how's this going to work with the pace car not even being in front of the leaders yet? But that's going to screw people over with pit strategy, because it just let everyone behind the pace car already pit. Unless these guys are staying out. But I wouldn't think so. Yeah, so these guys are going to pit. They're going to get screwed over. And I believe that'll put Carl Edwards to the race lead. Edwards, Busch, Yaley, Gillen, Biffle, and others. As it's Gordon who comes off first from this group. So it'll be Carl Edwards who leads us to the restart about 50 laps here for stage number 2 as they come back to the restart zone. 26 cars on the lead lap, and we are back racing from Darlington. As some of these lap cars were once again unable to line up correctly, but they were not too much of a hazard, it seems. Now Gordon has to get his way back through the field as the game pretty much screwed him over and others. But for now, it's Edwards, Bush, Yaley, and Gilland. David Gilland has been involved in a crash every race since he's won the Daytona 500. He's trying to finish tonight with a wreck-free race, problem-free race. But we'll see how that ends up going for him, as Gordon immediately slicing his way through the slower cars. Hamlin trying to get by Bobby Labonte in the 43 car. But he's got to be aggressive if he wants to stay off Gordon, who is slicing his way through this field. Hamlin dives to the inside. There on Reed Sorensen, as you see David Reagan getting the wall. That's going to be another spot for Hamlin. And they almost go around back there, Sorensen and Reagan. As Gordon runs side by side with Mark Martin now, that is for the 9th spot. So we'll monitor that battle, but currently it's Carl Edwards leading the field here at Darlington. And for Gordon and Hamlin, it's going to be harder to make these passes as the run goes on, as the tires wear, as the whole field gets into lap traffic. So you've got to make these moves quickly. You got to run pretty much. And contact, Juan Montoya is going to go around. Casey Mears involved. Back across the track, Matt Kenseth involved. Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car. I think that's Casey Mears in the 25. Jeff Burton in the 31 also caught up in it. So the caution flies for the 3rd time tonight. And you see the points leader, Jeff Burton, with his hood dinged up. And these guys are going to pit here, as you see Juan Montoya immediately diving for pit road. But we're going to watch the pit stops and then get a look at what happened there, as that may have just ruined Jimmy Johnson's race. You see Kenseth with damage. Is that David Gilland with damage? Seems like another race with an incident for Gilland, but they knocked the hood back down. So it seems like he'll be okay for now. But we'll see as Jeff Gordon comes down to get his pit service. We saw Johnson have a little bit of damage in that wreck, but I think he'll be alright. They'll probably have to spend a little bit of time getting him repaired up though. Kenseth gonna lose his hood, and you see Johnson losing spots, and Stewart, who appears to also have gotten damage in that accident. Yeah, there you see Johnson with some rear end damage to his Lowe's number 48, and we will take a look at what happened there to set off this 3rd caution of the night. So it was actually further up in the field. So there you see Juan Montoya actually comes up the track and clears himself on Casey Mears. 2 exits involved him, and then Montoya loses control and comes back up the racetrack. And there's nowhere to go, you know, all these guys are checking up and stuff. But when a car is sliding up that quickly, especially when he makes contact with Ryan Newman in the 6, and you know, Kyle Busch involved, Jeff Burton involved. And it appeared David Gilland in the 38 car got damaged from something. That may have just been a game error. But on the lead lap, this caution will be Robbie Gordon in the 7. So Robbie Gordon will get back on the lead lap here on this third caution of the night. Robbie Gordon unlapping himself here. And I believe we will get the 1 to go signal. Yes, we will. But we may have to delay the restart. Yeah. Okay. Because these guys are not able to line up correctly. And there you see it. And you know, these guys want to go back green. But unfortunately, these lap cars won't let us. Why don't I cut off the recording for now until we get this sorted out. And we have gotten the situation sorted out. Here, as you saw under that caution, Kyle Petty retired with a mechanical issue. Burton, Montoya, and Kane are also all out of the race. As we come back to the restart. Edwards, Kurt Busch, Yaley, Gillen, Biffle, Harvick, Gordon, Hamlin, Martin, and Green. And we come to the green flag again. Carl Edwards leads us. Back to racing from Darlington. 90 laps to go. And just about 30 laps until the stage end. And you see Johnson actually has a bit of a problem here. He is slowing up the field back here. And Reagan in the wall. He almost takes out Bobby O'Bonney. And that just checks up the field. Edwards over Kurt Busch and Yaley and Gillen and Harvick. You saw Harvick in the wall earlier tonight. You've seen Greg Biffle on the wall multiple times tonight. But with that caution, that most recent caution, it seems that Jeff Gordon and Denny Hamlin are going to be the main contenders for the win tonight. Hamlin catching Gordon in the 24. As they see Edwards in the 99 getting away. And don't discount Carl Edwards. He won last time out. But he is not better than the 24 or the 11. As you see JJ Yaley in the 18 getting the wall. So he'll drop several spots as we continue to watch Jeff Gordon's progress to the front again. He's going to get around Kevin Harvick. He's going to get around Kurt Busch. Hamlin's got to make a move on Harvick. And if he wants to stay with Gordon, where's Hamlin go? Hamlin drops to the bottom. Gordon now side by side with Edwards for the race lead, as Hamlin's not even gotten to Kurt Busch yet. But Edwards gets the wall here. Now Gordon away with the race lead as we can look further back in the field at Jimmy Johnson, who is going very slowly still. Hamlin gets around Kurt Busch. Now he's got to set his sights on Carl Edwards in the 99 car for the second spot, and then he can go chasing after Jeff Gordon for the race lead again. So it does not take these guys long to get back to the lead even when the game tries to ruin their day with the pace car picking up the wrong half of the field. But Hamlin's still struggling to get by Edwards. It seems like the 24 of Gordon is better in traffic than the 11 of Denny Hamlin. But he's going to back up the corner and he's going to get a run off turn 2. He looks a little bit lower than Carl Edwards. He may be able to get the run here in 3 and 4 to make a move, but we'll see. He's going to get to the corner and they're going to be side by side down the front straightaway. He's got to try to stay inside in the 1 and 2, which he will do, and he's going to be side by side of Carl Edwards for the second spot. And he will more than likely clear to take the race lead away from Edwards. As I say that, Edwards continues to battle back on the top side as Gordon runs away over the race lead. Now Hamlin's going to drive it in a little deeper and clear Edwards for second finally. Edwards is going to immediately look back low on Hamlin, and they're going to be side by side for second place again, but Hamlin's going to be able to clear from the top. And they're going to be into some lap traffic here as you see Brian Vickers just up the road. As we enter in on 20 laps to the stage end now. 25 to go they just got for stage number 2. Here's Hamlin on Gordon, and Gordon actually got checked up by Brian Vickers a little bit there for the entry of 1 and 2. Edwards getting stuck behind the 83. He may be under fire from Mark Martin as Edwards refuses to make a move past the lap car. So that's just given Edwards and Gordon and Hamlin their own island. Out front, as Edwards has fallen 1.2 seconds behind these two. And Hamlin is able to catch Gordon in traffic. It's a bit harder to navigate the lap traffic here at Darlington. JJ Yaley appeared to have an issue. He comes off pit road. So we'll see how much better the tires on the 18 are. Hamlin trying to search around for whatever speed he can get to go after Jeff Gordon in the 24, as Yaley is starting to bring his new tires in. And they're going to catch the 21 of Ken Schrader to put him another lap down. But Yaley only fell 3 laps down from that, so it must have been a long pit stop by the 18 crew. And Yaley is slow still, so I wonder if he has some sort of issue, maybe? Gordon and Hamlin now getting by Paul Menard in the 15 car. As we watch the 18 of Yaley, because you think he'd be flying out here unless they just didn't put tires on it and only made repairs, but I don't see why they would do that, but it appears that is what they've done. And now Edwards is going to be able to make a move past Paul Menard in the 15 car, going to just get places 99 a little lower on the racetrack, and he's going to clear Paul Menard in the 15. Hamlin chasing after Gordon still as they've gotten around the lap car of Tony Raines. And Hamlin may use this 44 of Dale Jarrett as a pick if he can get next to Jeff Gordon, but it appears Hamlin's going to let them get by the 44 car. He thought about going high, but Jarrett took his lane away, and that's going to allow Gordon to stretch his legs a little bit. And Hamlin's probably not going to be happy about that his lane got taken away. But they're going to be lapping Joe Nemechek in the 13 car next. And Edwards is going to have no problems at all getting by Dale Jarrett. Gordon wants to look high on Nemechek. Here comes Hamlin down low. And they've got a caution. Caution is on the speedway. Hamlin's going to lead them back to the caution. But we have a caution flag for the 4th time today, and it's for Kurt Busch in the 2 and Jeff Green in the 66, I believe that is. Yes, it is. So Green got the wall here in 1 and 2. Kurt Busch was coming off ahead of steam and just gets into the 66 car, and they both go around off turn 2. But Denny Hamlin, crucially, will lead us back to the caution and will lead us down pit road. And Kenny Wallace will get the free pass here under this caution. But it appears that only some are pitting here. So Hamlin and Gordon are staying out under this yellow flag, even though the tires were starting to wear. And Edwards. But the 78 of Kenny Wallace has made his way around the pace car and will be back on the lead lap for this ensuing restart here. And you see Dale Jr. actually come off pit road ahead of this whole group. And now Hamlin and Gordon are going to pit for some reason on the second time around. So that is the second time that they've pitted a lap later than everyone else tonight. And that's probably going to mess them up again. And here they come back to the restart. It's going to be Dale Jr. leading them to the green. Can he hang on to win the second stage here at Darlington? Green flag back in there. Kyle Busch has a bad restart. As they head through turn 1 and 2. Junior ahead of Busch. And Truex, Martin, and Newman. Kyle Busch now chasing after Dale Jr. as Matt Kenseth still appears to have a little bit of pace, as Johnson has still hung on to the lead lap despite being so damaged. But now it's Hamlin leading the charge through the field. He may be able to get into the stage points here by the time we do get to that caution. But it's Earnhardt Jr. ahead of Kyle Busch. Busch won at Phoenix, the first race we did with these CLT cars. Now trying to chase after Dale Jr. for the race lead, who has not won yet this season. Mark Martin making a move on Martin Truex. And this final stage is going to be about the same length as we had for this second stage. Maybe a tiny bit longer actually, depending on when we go green, but it'll be just about a 50 lap dash to the checker. So that'll be something to keep an eye on as these guys continue the race. Will we get a green flag pit stop? And who will put their tires on at the right time? Johnson was in the top 10 for a few laps, but now Hamlin is going to break back into the top 10 pretty soon, as he is up to the 12th spot. And also, for Gordon and Edwards, if you don't get up there, you're going to be buried in the pack for the restart. Kenny Wallace has been back down pit road and has got a lap down once again. So now he is going to be another obstacle for these guys, as we have 10 laps to go in the second stage, as Stewart makes a move inside on Kyle Busch. Can't make it happen, so he goes back up the hill. Now look at Kyle Busch trying to make a move on Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the race lead. But Busch washes up the hill off 4. Here comes Stewart back on the 5 car. And we watch this battle as they run side by side through 1 and 2. Here's Earnhardt Jr. and Stewart running side by side. for the race lead for just a moment, but Stewart's going to look low for the race lead, and Junior goes high. Tony Stewart takes the race lead here at Darlington. Kyle Busch is now going to have a look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the second spot, and Hamlin is up to 8th. Can he make his way up into the top 5 by the time we're at the end of this stage? Hamlin is 3 seconds behind. Jeff Gordon hasn't even cracked the top 10 yet. He's down in 15th still. Edwards is in 13th. But this is the second time Hamlin's had to carve his way through the field today. And currently, for the free pass position for when we get the stage yellow, that currently belongs to Sterling Marlin in the 14, but I'm sure Dave Blaney in the 22 wants it. Let's take a look at that battle. And it's not even a battle at the moment, because Marlin is way ahead of Blaney. You see Gilliland and Wallace both get into the wall. Edwards now into the points, but now that'll be Kenseth down to 10th. And Edwards and Gordon have finally cracked the top 10, but they're just barely in the back half of it. Kyle Busch still trying to find a way around Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8. 6 to go in stage 2, and Stewart's going to get held up by some lap traffic. That's his teammate in Yaley. That's going to allow Hamlin to close as well. Because Stewart is refusing to make a move. All these guys are refusing to make a move. And Mark Martin says, I'll go by all of you. Mark Martin making a move for 3rd. The run of a lifetime right there for Mark Martin. And now Stewart. And we got a caution. Caution is out. And I think that'll end the stage. That's Jeff Green in the 66 going for a slide. As he gets the wall, comes down in the Reagan once, twice, and then they spin around and they hit a 3rd, 4th, 5th time for good measure. As they await the pace car to overtake. And I think these guys will stay out to the stage end. No, some of these guys are going to pit. I think these guys that are staying out are going to pit next time, but I still don't understand that strategy. Yep, so here they are down pit road. And your stage winner is going to be Clint Boyer in the 07. So Boyer will win stage 2. No, it'll be a 1-lap shootout for the stage. So Clint Boyer will not win stage 2 quite yet. Sterling Marlin will be on the lead lap. But it'll be a 1-lap shootout for the second stage here at Darlington. So we're immediately going to go back to caution after this as Boyer leads them down in the 1. Points about to get paid out as Boyer comes down the back straightaway here for the final time in stage number 2. David Gilliland currently has the final point. As they come through 3 and 4, it'll be Clint Boyer who wins stage number 2. Boyer, your stage 2 winner from Darlington. As they check up here off turn 2, so hopefully the pace car speeds up and catches them. But a bunch of them may go around again. think that's what's going to happen, because none of them are diving for pit road at the moment. And it'll be Dave Blaney who gets the free pass under this yellow, so he will be back on the lead lap. And you see these guys starting to poke down to head for pit road. We'll see how many of them come in this time around, because you may see the split lap strategy once again. Or some of these guys might just be staying out. No, some of these guys just decide to stay out. So it was Bush, Stewart who came down, Obani and Yaley and Kenseth as well. We're going to add another lap to this yellow, because a huge chunk of lap cars actually stayed out. So it'll be just about 50 to go when we go green. I think it'll be actually 51 laps to go, as Clint Boyer will lead the field back to green. And this is a great situation for Jeff Gordon, because Denny Hamlin is buried in the pack right now. 25 cars on the lead lap as we come back to the green flag. Green flag back in there from Darlington, Boyer with the lead. 51 laps to go. And if we go green, you will see a green flag pit stop cycle from all of these guys, as Boyer gets away with the lead ahead of Newman, Edwards, and Kurt Busch. Edwards ahead of Jeff Gordon at the moment. So what can he do to get the race lead from Boyer, as Gordon makes a move on Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car? And he easily gets through, and now Boyer now going to be under fire from Edwards, as they run side by side for the leadoff 2. Boyer actually gets the wall here just a little bit. He doesn't make out with it, but he does scrape it just a little bit, and Edwards will get the race lead again, as we're coming around to lap 100 this time by. Gordon may be the leader when we get to lap 100. And you see Hamlin, he's making up spots. He needs to get by the 48 of Johnson as soon as possible. And that's exactly what he does. But now Gordon and Edwards are battling side by side for the lead, but Edwards is going to get the wall. And that's going to allow Boyer to go straight by. And you see Yaley coming off pit road. So Hamlin's trying to find his way around Earnhardt Jr. now, as they get around the lap car of Yaley, as Jr. is going to make a move on Newman. And Hamlin's probably just going with him at the moment, and then he's going to find a way by. But it's Gordon with the race lead for now. They're going to crash off turn 2. Truex and Yaley. You see Robbie Gordon in the 7 going for a slide. He's going to drive straight into Martin Truex Jr. And the caution flag is going to fly. Not what Jeff Gordon wanted to see, since he had such a gap over Hamlin. And Robbie Gordon just drove straight into the pit barrels. There's your caution flag here for, I believe, the 6th time tonight. And you'll see, I might have to sneeze. But Yaley, Truex, and Robbie Gordon involved in the crash off turn number 2. Let's take a look at what happened. So Truex is in the wall, and he actually bounces off of it into Casey Mears, who narrowly avoids going around, and then Robbie Gordon's sideways off too as well. Slams into Martin Truex Jr. after the wreck is done, and then take a look at what happens. He's obviously got no steering. He's coming back to the pit road, and bam, eats some tires, or barrels, I should say. It will be David Ruderman getting back on the lead lap under this caution flag. So the 00 will be on the lead lap with us. Let's see who can get off pit road first, as Hamlin is actually in 3rd position now. It'll be Gordon over Edwards and Hamlin, so the top 3 stays the same. Hamlin almost gets beat out by Kurt Busch. There you see Truex getting his repairs, his good day coming undone there with that wreck. And there's Jeff Gordon, who has come off pit road, but Jeff Gordon has come back down pit road with some sort of issue. I don't know what the issue on the 24 is, but it seems that he's just gotten new tires again and come back off pit road, and they may make him restart behind everyone. Because I don't think there's time for him to get in front of all of these lap cars. And Gordon is going to restart behind all of the lap cars, so some sort of issue for the 24 car has caused him to be all the way in the back for the restart. So that has just flipped the race upside down. Instead of catching the 24, it's probably catching the 11 and 99 now, as they come back to the restart with just over 40 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. As we look further back in the pack, Johnson holding up Ruderman in the 00 car. But Stremme is probably going to be the one to let Ruderman back down, as Gordon has actually gotten around all of these lap cars, as I think they were either holding up to let him by, or Truex just held them up. And Gordon is back down pit road again. So there is some sort of issue on the 24 car, because he has just come back down pit road, as Hamlin is making a move on Carl Edwards for the race lead. And you see Johnson falling to the back of the lead lap, so the 2 cars we thought were going to dominate this night have all fallen back. Hamlin ahead of Edwards and Harvick, trying to challenge him for the race lead. Hamlin ahead of Edwards, Harvick, Biffle, and Boyer. Edwards still following behind Hamlin, not letting the 11 out of his sight. Edwards trying to go 2 in a row, Hamlin trying to get his first win of this season. As we are closing in on now almost 30 to go. I almost said less than 30 to go, but it's almost 30 to go. Just a few laps until then. But Gordon is a lap down, and he is going to maybe be able to get back to Jamie McMurray to be in the free pass. Catch a caution potentially to be back in this race, but I don't see that happening. We are more than likely, though, going to see green flag pit stops, but out of the race, Robbie Gordon, Tony Raines, J.J. Yaley, Michael Waltrip, Kyle Petty, Jeff Burton, Juan Pablo Montoya, Casey Kane, and Johnny Sauter. David Gillen has actually gotten through this race so far without being in a crash, so good on him. He currently runs in the 13th spot. The 500 winner just trying to finish a race undamaged. And then build up momentum into Martinsville next week, which we'll probably see a lot of crashes there. And then we go to Bristol and Kansas. Edwards running behind Hamlin in the 11. As they come around 3 and 4 again, but Hamlin's going to extend his gap just a little bit. And they'll be getting in the lap cars soon. Truex and Brian Vickers in the 83 car. As you see Stewart running side by side with Harvick. Through 1 and 2 though. I mean, I keep saying 1 and 2. This used to be 1 and 2. It's 3 and 4. Hamlin with Edwards behind him. Hamlin and Edwards, they're going to easily lap Truex Jr. and Brian Vickers, as now Stewart has caught the back end of his top 2. Kyle Busch also trying to close. How can he get by Martin Truex Jr. and Brian Vickers? Because he's got Dale Jr. in tow with him. As they go through 1 and 2 again. It's Hamlin over Edwards and Stewart. Kyle Busch has found his way by the lap cars with Dale Earnhardt Jr. And now Stewart's going to make a move on Kyle Edwards. Could potentially be a JGR 1, 2, 3 if pretty soon. And further up the road, next to be lap will be the 78 of Kenny Wallace. So, Stewart now side by side with Edwards for second. As they head off 1 and 2 for the once again. Edwards able to clear from the top side though. For lap times, they have fallen off nearly a second. As they follow Hamlin down the front straightaway they go. Closing in now on 20 laps to go as we've just crossed 30 to go, now 29 to go. And they will be making a green flag pit stop, it appears. As you haven't seen a caution once again yet, but we shall see. There's Ken Schrader that they're going to get around to put a lap down. Should be quite easy for them. And I think, yeah, all 3 of them are going to very easily get by the 21 car. That 21 is wall riding now. So he'll probably get passed pretty soon by Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Busch is going to dive to the bottom on Schrader. Now they're lapping the 78 car up here at the front. That is Kenny Wallace, and then Paul Menard up the road. Going to go a lap down as well. And then just ahead of Menard is Dale Jarrett. But Edwards under pressure from Stewart. Hamlin got Menard on corner exit. Edwards and Stewart are going to get him before the corner. The 78 in the wall though, I think that's going to allow the 5 to get by quite easily. It will, so will the 8. So they're easily right by the 78 as Edwards is going to get the wall there. That's going to allow Stewart to get by potentially, but Edwards is still hanging on. Stewart may get the lead in the 3 depending on what, P2 in the 3. But Edwards going to get by the lap car of Dale Jarrett, and now Stewart is in the P2. Hamlin still continues to lead by 7/10 over Stewart. Kyle Busch easily going to get by Dale Jarrett in the 44 car. And Dale Jr. is going to probably very easily get by Dale Jarrett in the 44 car. Or will he? He's going to make a dive into turn 3. It's Jarrett in the wall. Hamlin leads him across the stripe. I think they'll be pitting within the next 10 laps. So you gotta keep an eye out for that. Stewart in the wall. Edwards may have a look at him, but that may have allowed Stewart to catch Hamlin a little bit. So maybe a video game move there from Tony Stewart to roll up to the back bumper of his teammate, Denny Hamlin. As Edwards has lost touch with these two, Kyle Busch closing in on him. And there's a big gaggle of cars right in front of these guys. Sadler, Briggs, Stremme, so it's going to be very detrimental to the race. How they can overtake these lap cars, they're all in the wall. I think the tires are just taking away that much grip that they are all getting the wall. Except for race leader Denny Hamlin, Stremme's going to get the wall. And Stewart has to check up big time for Scott Riggs in the 10. How much time does that cost him? 0.8 of a second that costs Stewart. And you see Ruderman going a lap down. Sadler is also going to get by him. Hamlin's stuck behind Dave Blaney at the moment. Does someone just throw caution to the wind and pit early and then let the deficit play out? But as you have just about 20 laps to go, you'll probably fall off a second. But if you pit now, you're going to make up that deficit largely right here. Probably have a 5-second lead as well, depending where you pit from. But now, no one behind or between Stewart and Hamlin right now. But Edwards trying to work by these lap cars. So is Dale Jr. in the 8. We have just about 20 laps to go, 21 to go this time around. And lap times have fallen off nearly 2 seconds. Hamlin in the wall off 2, Stewart as well. When do these guys make the move for pit road? I think we restarted with just over 40 to go. But surely he won't stay out this whole time on old tires. Like, you're gonna have to pit at some point. You see, and there's your pit stop. Elliott Sadler goes around off turn 4. Caution flag's gonna fly. He got turned by David Ruderman in the 0-0 into the wall. And that's unfortunate for David Gillen because he was pitting to throw tires on. So he's probably going to lose a lap from that. But it will be Reed Sorensen getting the free pass under this yellow flag. Yeah, that's really gonna be a kick in the nuts to David Gillen. Solid run. And it just gets ended right there. Kyle Busch has a suspension failure. So a problem for the 5 car as Hamlin leads Stewart down pit road. This is the most important stop of the night. Here comes Hamlin to his pit stall. Let's see if Kyle Busch decides to retire from the race. No, it seems like the crew is still going to service him. But will Stewart have to lose a little bit of time here on pit road, fixing that side damage from his repeated wall contact? No, he won't. Hamlin's going to come off pit road first. But David Gillen will take a wave around. And we'll be back to 1 lap down for the restart. Again, unfortunate for him, because he was probably going to have a rocket ship there. Going to take fresh tires, you know. But it will be less than 20 laps to go. We're going to actually delay the restart. Because Kevin Harvick is holding up the whole pack. So here we go. Just over 10 laps to go, and we're going to get a restart. Here from the Darlington Raceway, Hamlin over Stewart and Earnhardt Jr., Edwards and Busch. Here we go, green flags back in the air. Edwards not that great of a restart though, as the top 3 get away. Through 1 and 2, 13 laps to go. Can Hamlin hang on to it, or will his teammate Tony Stewart spoil his party? You see Greg Biffle up the racetrack now, as Hamlin and Stewart, the 2 JGR teammates, run 1-2 down the front straightaway. Earnhardt Jr. under pressure from Edwards now. Edwards didn't get that great of a restart, but he's making up for it. Side by side over the 8. 3 wide further back. That's Jeff Green who gets the wall. Starling Marlin looking to potentially get a top 10 here. Jeff Gordon is currently looking to be in that free pass position if we were to get another yellow, but Kevin Harvick currently has it. Did you see Earnhardt Jr. getting the wall now off turn number 2? That's going to allow Kyle Busch to get by him as Edwards, and his plus for 2 in a row, gets by Earnhardt Jr. for 3rd. Hamlin still leading Stewart. Edwards now into 3rd as Kyle Busch tries to get 4th. Can't quite do it. Bobby O'Bonney looking for his 2nd straight top 10. But it's the top 5 who have broken away. Hamlin over Stewart over Edwards. Earnhardt Jr. looking high on Carvel Edwards now. I don't think they'll get into any lap traffic here, so it's going to be an all-out battle to the checkered flag. And the tires are perfectly fresh. So this may now have turned into Hamlin's race to lose as Kyle Busch finally gets the 4th spot from Earnhardt Jr. Edwards closing in on Tony Stewart, trying to make a move for 2nd as they come through 3 and 4 again. Hamlin gapping the 20. Stewart lost 2 tenths that lap. Here comes Edwards, all over the back bumper of Tony Stewart in the 20. As they head through turn 3 and 4, Edwards going to take a look into 3, but he now has pressure from Kyle Busch in that 5 car. Stewart may be holding him up for Hamlin if he feels he cannot contend with his teammate, but Edwards is going to look to the inside. Edwards inside, he's going to get by Stewart as Stewart gets long. Kyle Busch may get through as well. So Edwards in the 2nd, Kyle Busch in the 3rd. Edwards chasing after Denny Hamlin in the 11 as Kyle Busch works to get around the 20 of Tony Stewart. Kyle Busch may have a shot at Carl Edwards here, but Edwards is going to use the top to hang on to that 2nd position. And Hamlin will get to the 83 and 1 to put them a lap down, so Edwards still has a shot. Edwards also trying to be the first person to win in both the Gen 4 and the CLT in the same season. Here comes Hamlin on the back of Truex. He gets slowed down a little bit. But Edwards is having trouble getting by. Truex going to hold up Carl Edwards, and that may have just sealed the race. Because they may not get the 78 car. They may get the 78 and 15, but it's unlikely. Here's Jeff Gordon, just in case you were wondering where he is. Biffle on the wall. He almost goes for a slide. That would have brought out a caution and an overtime. Hamlin just got by those lap cars so much better than Edwards. I think Edwards has squandered his chance to win this race. 9/10 of a second is the gap. Now Hamlin with the lead through 1 and 2. And he's going to be coming around to 2 to go. He does not want to see a caution. Jeff Gordon is up here in 4th on merit. Too bad that he had those pit problems, because he'd probably be contending for the win right now. And they're probably just going to let Gordon go. You know, he's so much quicker. He probably should have won this race. But it's a second from Hamlin to Edwards. Gordon may unlock himself on his own speed as they're coming around to the white flag this time. Menard's heading for pit road. A bunch of these back markers are heading for pit road. Kyle Busch has gotten his way in a second, and the white flag is out for Hamlin. 1 lap to go from Darlington. No caution can take this one away from him. Hamlin with the lead. Gordon trying to close to get his lead lap finish as they head down the back straightaway for the final time. For the first time this season, it'll be Denny Hamlin, who dominated at Phoenix after struggles from the Hendrick cars. There's been struggles from the Hendrick cars today, and Denny Hamlin will win at Darlington. Hamlin gets his first win of the season. Kyle Busch comes home second, Edwards third, Earnhardt Jr. 4th, Stewart 5th, Martin 6th, Boyer, Biffle, Kendrick, and Sterling Marlin round out the top 10. Let's take a look at Denny Hamlin's victory celebrations, though.